What's up, guys? Welcome to 3 Count Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about the All Elite Wrestling video game currently in development by Yukes to be published by AEW Games. Now, back on November 10th, AEW held a press conference on its AEW Games YouTube page announcing the AEW game currently in development. Now, they did show this trailer, which is not final, very early in development. And basically, they wanted to recreate the feeling of No Mercy / Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Now, I'm very excited about the game. And with that being said, today, I just want to talk about the top 5 things I would like to see in this AEW game. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Number 5 on my list is going to be the old spirit meter used in the AKI wrestling games. Now, in my opinion, the spirit meter used in the AKI wrestling games is the best momentum system in any wrestling video game. Pretty straightforward. If you're doing damage, you gain momentum. If you take damage, you lose momentum. Can't get any simpler than that. Basically, this led to more back and forth and more fun matches, in my opinion, as opposed to wrestling games of today, where the momentum system, you just spam moves, rack up your momentum, and your momentum doesn't go down even if you're taking a lot of damage. So in my opinion, I really hope AEW uses this old momentum system, because in my opinion, it'll just make the game a little bit better. Number 4 on my list is basically just having a good creation suite. It's a pretty simple entry. Honestly, you have no idea how important the creation suite is to a wrestling game, especially if it's a licensed wrestling game in which you may want characters from another company or another video game and all that stuff. So when you have a good creation suite, you're accurately able to bring those characters to your game. Now, with that being said, I'm using Fire Pro Wrestling World as an example because in my opinion, they have an amazing creation suite. You can create wrestlers, arenas, moves, your entrance, and all that good stuff. And most importantly, they have cross-platform downloads. So basically, if you go on firepro.net, whether it's on your PlayStation or your PC, you can download creations that were created on either of those platforms. Now, I do wish AEW does something pretty similar, where you could download characters, arenas, whatever the case may be, from Xbox to PlayStation or PS5 to Series X. I just think something like that would just take the game to the extra mile and make the game a lot better. Now, number 3 on my list is season mode. WWF No Mercy had an amazing season mode where every single title you went after had their own cutscenes, storylines, and branching paths. Now, I would love it if AEW had a season mode in their game, because honestly, it would make the game so much better. And we haven't seen a season mode in a mainline wrestling game in such a long time. The last WWE game to have a season mode was SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, which came out 13 years ago. That's insane how they have not went back to having a traditional season mode in their game. Now, more specifically, I would like a season mode that had the branching paths, the unique storylines, and the cutscenes. That would make the game absolutely amazing. And hopefully AEW decides to implement this into their game. I think they will. I think the fans have been clamoring either for a season mode or a GM mode. But if I had to pick between the two, I would pick season mode. Number 2 on my list is a stacked roster. One of the most important parts of a wrestling game is the roster, and honestly, All Elite Wrestling has one of the best rosters in the world. And honestly, there's no doubt in my mind that they will have a stacked roster. But I just want to include it on this list because it's that important to me that they have such a robust and amazing roster in the game. Now, with that being said, let's get on to number 1. Number 1 on this list is fun gameplay. That's it. Gameplay is the most important part of any video game, let alone a wrestling video game for that matter. And honestly, Yukes is no stranger to having a fun wrestling game. Keep in mind, they are regarded as to making the best wrestling game of all time in many people's eyes. That being Here Comes the Pain. So I have all the confidence in the world that Yukes is going to give their 100% effort into making the best wrestling game they could possibly make. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the game you're seeing on your screen right now is a game titled Wrestle Kingdom, which was developed and published by Yukes in 2006 for the Xbox 360 and the PS2. Now, this game was made the same time they were still working on the SmackDown series. As you can see, this game is aesthetically different. Gameplay is completely different than what they were doing with the SmackDown series at the time. So I definitely feel like when given that creative freedom to make a game that they want to make, they can knock it out the park. Thank you guys for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe to 3 Count Gaming on YouTube and hit that bell so you never miss an upload.